The cold vacuum of the graveyard stretched out before Zara Kismet, an ocean of discarded metal and forgotten dreams. She gripped the controls of her scavenging vessel, the Tempest, navigating the treacherous debris field with a dancer's grace. The ship groaned as it squeezed through a narrow gap between two rusted hulks, their gnarled forms casting eerie shadows across the cockpit. Zara's eyes scanned the darkness, her instincts honed by years of hunting for elusive treasures amidst the wreckage. She whispered to herself, "There's always something valuable hidden in the chaos, if you're willing to look close enough." Suddenly, a flicker of light in the distance caught her attention. Zara leaned forward, her heart quickening as she squinted against the black expanse. The flicker pulsed again, like a beacon calling to her. She pondered for a moment, weighing the potential reward against the risks. With a decisive nod, she adjusted Tempest's course, setting a path towards the mysterious light. As Zara drew closer, the source of the light became more visible, a cluster of debris, twisted and tangled, floating in the void like a metallic jungle. She narrowed her eyes, focusing on the heart of the cluster, where the flicker seemed to originate. Zara's thoughts raced, her curiosity piqued. Could it be? No, it's probably just another broken ship or an old beacon, she muttered, trying to temper her excitement. But the thrill of discovery coursed through her veins, urging her onward. The Tempest glided smoothly through the debris, Zara's nimble fingers guiding it with practiced ease. She maneuvered around jagged metal fragments and dodged floating chunks of ice. The vessel's sensors beeped softly, alerting her to potential collisions as she pressed deeper into the cluster. As the light grew brighter, Zara's anticipation swelled. She couldn't shake the feeling that this find would be different, that it might be the key to unlocking a better life. With a deep breath, she steeled herself for whatever awaited her in the heart of the debris field. "Zara Kismet," she whispered to herself, "you've found your next big score." In the style of adventurous and expansive, this scene captures the essence of Zara's character and her daring quest through the treacherous graveyard. The close POV allows readers to experience the thrill of the hunt alongside Zara, immersing them in her world of danger, discovery, and the promise of untold riches. The Tempest's scanners squealed as they picked up an elusive energy signature nestled within the dense debris cluster. Zara's eyes widened, her pulse quickening. The possibility of an ancient alien ship lurking among the wreckage was too enticing to ignore. She clenched her jaw and deftly activated the grappling arms of her vessel. "All right, Z," she murmured to herself. "Time to put those scavenging skills to the test." Navigating the labyrinth of debris required precision and skill. Zara's agile fingers danced across the ship's console, nudging the Tempest through the treacherous maze while avoiding collisions with the jagged remnants of forgotten spacecraft. She squinted, focusing on the flickering light that beckoned her closer. The anticipation of unearthing a rare find sent a shiver down her spine. As the Tempest inched forward, the pulsating energy signature intensified, casting an eerie glow on the surrounding debris. Zara's heart raced, her breath shallow. The alien ship's wreckage loomed ahead, its twisted metal and circuitry entangled with the remnants of other vessels. The sight was both haunting and awe-inspiring, a testament to the destructive power of the graveyard. Zara's eyes narrowed, searching for the source of the energy signature. There, amidst the chaos, she spotted it. A strange, pulsating device, its intricate mechanisms seemingly undamaged by the passage of time. The sight of the artifact sent a jolt of excitement through her. "That's it," she whispered, her voice hoarse with anticipation. "That's the prize." With steady hands, Zara activated the Tempest's grappling arms once more. She extended them towards the alien ship's wreckage, carefully maneuvering the mechanical appendages around the twisted metal. The grappling hooks latched onto the device, and she gently tugged, freeing it from its entanglement. As the artifact emerged from the wreckage, Zara's heart swelled with a mixture of triumph and awe. The device was unlike anything she had ever seen, its sleek design and glowing mechanisms hinting at advanced technology far beyond her understanding. The thrill of discovery washed over her, igniting a fierce determination to unlock the secrets of the device and protect it from those who would seek to exploit its power. As she guided the Tempest away from the debris cluster, Zara couldn't help but smile. This find would change everything, She had uncovered the treasure of a lifetime. "Zara Kismet," she whispered, her voice filled with pride and determination. "You've done it again." The artifact nestled in Zara's palm, warm and thrumming with potential energy. Its intricate mechanisms whirred to life, vibrating against her skin, and she couldn't help but feel the power coursing through her veins. She gasped as a surge of energy pulsed from the device, sending a shiver down her spine. Zara's vision blurred, and time seemed to stutter around her. She found herself caught in a torrent of memories and glimpses of the future. The birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations, and fleeting images of her own past and possible futures flashed before her eyes. The cacophony of voices, emotions, and thoughts threatened to overwhelm her, but beneath it all, she felt a deep connection to the universe and its infinite possibilities. As the visions began to recede, Zara's mind raced with questions and realizations. The artifact she now held was no ordinary piece of technology. It was a temporal device, capable of manipulating the fabric of time itself. The implications were staggering. With such power, she could change the course of history, alter the fate of entire worlds, and perhaps even secure a better life for herself and those she cared about. But she knew that such power could not be wielded carelessly. The device was a double-edged sword, and in the wrong hands, it could bring about untold destruction and chaos. Zara's determination hardened as she resolved to uncover the secrets of the artifact and ensure that it would never be used to harm others. She took a deep breath, steadying herself, and looked around her cramped quarters on the Tempest. The ship had served her well, but she knew that she couldn't face this new challenge alone. She needed allies, people she could trust to help her navigate the dangers that lay ahead. A faint smile tugged at the corners of her mouth as she considered her options. There was Calum Voss, the enigmatic space pirate known as the Rogue Corsair. His reputation for resourcefulness and cunning was legendary, and she knew that he would be an invaluable ally in this endeavor. Then there was Sasha Quill, a skilled mechanic and pilot whose knowledge of starships and technology would prove crucial in understanding the device's inner workings. And finally, Dr. Marco Tam, an expert in alien cultures and languages, who might be able to decipher the mysterious symbols etched into the artifact's surface. Zara's thoughts raced as she weighed the risks and benefits of her plan. She knew that trust did not come easily to her, but she also recognized that the fate of the device, and possibly the universe itself, hung in the balance. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenges ahead. "All right, Z," she murmured to herself, her voice steady and resolute. "Let's see what you're truly made of." With a renewed sense of purpose, Zara set out to unravel the secrets of the temporal device and protect it from those who would seek to exploit its power. She knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but she was determined to face whatever challenges came her way. For Zara Kismet, the thrill of discovery was only the beginning. In the dimly lit cockpit of her scavenging vessel, Zara Kismet's sharp eyes scanned the graveyard's vast expanse. The cold, lifeless hulks of once mighty starships drifted silently through the void, their secrets entombed within rusted metal and shattered circuitry. A faint thrum echoed through the cockpit as her ship's engines hummed in rhythm with her racing heart. The device she had discovered pulsed with an unearthly energy, its delicate mechanisms whispering ancient secrets that tantalized her imagination. Zara's fingers traced the intricate patterns etched into its surface, her mind reeling with possibilities. This artifact was more than just a treasure. It was a key to unlocking the universe's hidden depths. Her thoughts were interrupted by a sudden burst of static from the comms system. She leaned forward, adjusting the frequency to filter out the noise. A voice crackled through the speakers, barely audible over the interference. "This is a message for the one they call Zara Kismet. Word has reached us of a discovery that could change the course of history. We desire a meeting to discuss the terms of its acquisition." Zara's eyes narrowed as she recognized the voice. It was Jax Riven, the ruthless leader of a rival scavenger gang known as the Starved Ravens. She knew their reputation well. They would stop at nothing to claim the device for themselves. As the message repeated, she realized that it wasn't just the Ravens who had caught wind of her discovery. Other voices chimed in, each vying for control over the artifact. The lawless underworld of the graveyard was abuzz with whispers of the temporal device, and Zara found herself at the center of a deadly game of cat and mouse. She clenched her fists, her knuckles white against the cold metal of the console. The thought of this power falling into the wrong hands chilled her to the bone. Zara's cautious nature kicked into high gear as she began devising a plan to protect herself and the artifact. "You're not getting your claws on this, Jax," she muttered, her voice low and resolute. "I'll outwit you and every other scavenger, corporation, or alien faction that comes sniffing around." Zara knew she couldn't do this alone. She needed allies, people she could trust to help her safeguard the device and unlock its secrets. As she calculated her next move, a steely determination hardened within her. She would stay one step ahead of her enemies, navigating the treacherous debris fields of the graveyard with the same skill and precision she had always employed. And when the time came to reveal the truth about the temporal device, the universe would tremble before its power. For Zara Kismet, the game was just beginning. In the dimly lit corner of the crowded Spacer's cantina, Zara Kismet nursed a glass of lukewarm synthale, her sharp eyes scanning the room. The raucous chatter of grizzled scavengers and smugglers filled the air, punctuated by the occasional clink of glasses and the distant hum of starship engines. Her thoughts, however, were consumed by the pulsating artifact secured in her vest pocket. Its immense power and the danger it posed weighed heavily on her mind. A sudden hush fell over the cantina as a towering figure clad in worn, functional attire sauntered through the entrance. Calum Voss, better known as the Rogue Corsair, surveyed the room with piercing blue eyes. His unruly beard and rugged appearance seemed to exude an aura of authority that silenced even the rowdiest of patrons. Zara's gaze locked onto him, her heart pounding in her chest. She had heard whispers of Calum's exploits across the graveyard, his cunning and resourcefulness legendary among the scavenging community. As she observed him, she couldn't help but consider the potential benefits of an alliance with such a formidable force. Their eyes met, and a flicker of recognition passed between them. Calum strode purposefully towards Zara, his steps confident and calculated. He extended a calloused hand, a sly smile playing on his lips. "Zara Kismet, I presume," he said, his voice a deep rumble. "I've heard quite the buzz about your recent acquisition. Care to share the details with an old friend?" Zara hesitated, her fingers drumming nervously on the table. She could sense the power that radiated from Calum, a strength that could prove invaluable in protecting the temporal device. With a cautious nod, she agreed to join forces, knowing that trust would have to be earned in time. "Very well, Corsair," she replied, her voice steady and resolute. "But know this, I will not compromise the safety of the device, or myself, for anyone." Calum's grin widened. "Fair enough, Kismet. I like a woman who knows her own mind." In the weeks that followed, Zara found herself aboard Calum's vessel, the Siren's Song, alongside his trusted crew, Sasha Quill, the fiery red-headed pilot and mechanic, and Dr. Marco Tam, the brilliant yet unassuming scientist. Together, they embarked on a rigorous training regimen, pushing their limits and honing their skills in preparation for the challenges that lay ahead. Zara practiced maneuvering the Siren's Song through treacherous debris fields, Sasha's sarcastic commentary guiding her through each obstacle. "Come on, Kismet, you've got to be quicker than that," she'd bark, her voice crackling through the comms. "These rust buckets won't wait for you to make up your mind." Meanwhile, Dr. Tam worked tirelessly to decipher the secrets of the temporal device, his keen eyes scrutinizing every intricate detail. "Fascinating," he'd murmur, his voice laced with wonder. "The craftsmanship is unlike anything I've ever seen." As Zara and her new allies worked together, a bond began to form, strengthened by their shared purpose and mutual respect. They knew that their lives, and the fate of the universe, hung in the balance, hinging on their ability to unlock the device's potential and keep it from falling into the wrong hands. And so, as the Siren's Song cut through the vast expanse of space, Zara Kismet and her crew prepared for the battles that awaited them, their resolve unwavering and their determination unyielding. The graveyard would prove to be a crucible, forging them into a formidable force capable of defying the odds and protecting the temporal device at all costs. For Zara, the game was far from over. This was merely the beginning of a new chapter in her quest for survival and redemption. The Siren's Song glided through the desolate expanse of the graveyard, its sleek hull cutting a path through the cold vacuum. Zara Kismet watched as twisted metal and debris floated past, her sharp eyes scanning for any signs of danger. Beside her, Calum Voss, the rogue corsair, leaned over the control panel, his fingers dancing across the console as he expertly navigated their ship through the treacherous maze. Suddenly, a shrill alarm pierced the air. Zara's heart raced as her gaze darted to the radar screen. A swarm of blips signaled the approach of hostile ships. "Scavengers," she growled, her voice filled with contempt. "They must have caught wind of our discovery." She turned to Calum, her eyes blazing with determination. "We can't let them take it. Whatever it takes, we have to protect that device." Calum nodded, a steely resolve in his gaze. "You heard the lady, crew. Prepare for battle." The siren's song shook as the rival scavengers opened fire. Zara's fingers flew across the console, redirecting power to the ship's deflector shields. "Hold on," she barked, her knuckles white as she gripped the controls. The ship shuddered violently as the shields absorbed the barrage of energy blasts. As the scavengers closed in, Calum deftly maneuvered the ship, evading their relentless assault. "Quill, Tam, get up here," he shouted into the comms. "We need all hands on deck." Sasha Quill and Dr. Marco Tam raced onto the bridge, their faces grim. Sasha took position at the weapons console, her fingers poised above the firing controls. Dr. Tam, his eyes filled with concern, clutched the temporal device protectively. Zara's mind raced as she calculated their odds of survival. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but she refused to give up without a fight. "Calum, take us in close," she ordered, her voice steady and confident. "Quill, wait for my signal." The rogue corsair nodded, his eyes locked on the swarming enemy ships. "You heard her, Quill. Get ready." As they closed the distance, Zara's heart pounded in her chest. She could see the greed in the scavengers' eyes, the desperation that drove them to risk everything for a chance at untold power. "Now!" she roared, her voice echoing through the ship. Sasha's fingers slammed down on the firing controls, unleashing a torrent of energy bolts that tore through the scavengers' formation. The siren's song weaved and twisted, narrowly avoiding the chaotic crossfire. In the midst of the carnage, Zara felt a surge of exhilaration. This was the thrill she lived for, the danger that made her heart race and her blood sing. She knew that they were risking everything, but she refused to let fear control her. As the scavengers' ships began to falter, their formation breaking apart, Zara knew that they had a chance. "Tam, get that device to safety," she shouted. "We can't let them get their hands on it." The doctor nodded, his face pale but determined, and hurried from the bridge, clutching the precious artifact. With the temporal device secured, Zara turned her attention back to the fight. The scavengers were retreating, their ships damaged and smoking. She let out a sigh of relief, her body trembling with adrenaline. Calum turned to her, a weary smile on his face. "We did it, Kismet. We held them off." Zara nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude. "We make a good team, Voss." As the siren's song soared away from the debris field, leaving their defeated enemies behind, Zara knew that they had won more than just a battle. They had forged a bond, a connection born of shared danger and mutual respect. But she also knew that this was only the beginning. The true test still lay ahead, and they would have to be ready to face whatever challenges the graveyard threw their way. As the ship vanished into the inky blackness of space, Zara Kismet and her crew steeled themselves for the journey that awaited them. They would not falter. They would not fail. They would protect the temporal device, no matter the cost. For Zara, this was more than just a mission. It was a chance to prove herself, to show the universe that she was more than just a scavenger, more than just a survivor. She was a warrior, a guardian of the secrets that lay hidden among the stars. And she would not rest until those secrets were safe. The siren's song glided stealthily through the obsidian void, its hull shrouded in a veil of darkness. Zara's heart pounded in her chest as she navigated the labyrinthine corridors of Gideon Stone's fortress. The cold, metallic scent of the air hung heavy, tinged with the faint hum of advanced technology. She clung to the shadows, her breath shallow and measured. Every creak and groan of the fortification sent shivers down her spine, but she pressed on. The temporal device was worth the risk, and she refused to let it fall into the hands of a man like Gideon. "Zara," Calem's voice crackled through her earpiece. "I've located the central data core. Meet me there." "Copy that," she whispered, her words laced with determination. As Zara approached the data core, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Her instincts had saved her life more times than she could count, and they were screaming at her now. She quickened her pace, her boots barely whispering against the floor. In the dimly lit chamber, Calem stood beside an imposing cylindrical structure, his fingers dancing over a holographic interface. Sasha and Marco guarded the entrance, their eyes scanning the corridor for any signs of danger. "Zara," Calem greeted her with a curt nod. "I've almost got access to Stone's files. We need to find out what he knows about the device." She nodded, her gaze fixed on the swirling data before them. "We can't let him use it for his own gain. The power it holds, it's not meant for one person to control." A sudden, ethereal glow filled the room, and a figure materialized before them. Zira Kaldor stood tall and resolute, her eyes aglow with an otherworldly light. "Zira," Zara breathed, relief washing over her. "You found us." Zira's lips curved into a faint smile. "I have come to guide you, Zara Kismet. The temporal device is more than just a relic. It is a key, a bridge between the past, present, and future." Zara's mind raced, her thoughts swirling like a maelstrom. "But how do we protect it from Gideon? He won't stop until he has it." Zira's gaze softened, her voice barely more than a whisper. "You must seek the Guardians, the ancient keepers of the device's secrets. They will show you the true potential of the artifact and the responsibility that comes with wielding its power." As the glow around Zira faded, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She would find the Guardians, learn the secrets of the device, and keep it out of Gideon's grasp. She would not let it fall into the wrong hands. With newfound determination, Zara and her crew left the fortification behind, venturing deeper into the graveyard in search of the ancient alien Guardians. The road ahead was fraught with danger, but Zara Kismet was no stranger to adversity. She would face whatever challenges lay ahead and protect the temporal device at all costs. The confined space of the cockpit buzzed with tension as Zara's nimble fingers danced across the console, her sharp eyes scanning the graveyard's endless expanse. Calem stood beside her, his muscular frame taut with anticipation. They had faced countless perils together, but the threat of Gideon Stone loomed large, casting a shadow over their burgeoning alliance. Zara's gaze flicked towards Calem, her heart skipping a beat as she took in his rugged appearance. His unruly beard framed a face etched with lines from countless battles, and his piercing blue eyes seemed to always be calculating their next move. In that moment, she found solace in his strength, her resolve solidifying like the hull of their vessel. "Z." Calem's voice was low, almost a whisper, as he reached out to gently brush a stray lock of hair from her face. "We'll get through this. Together." A shiver ran down Zara's spine at his touch, and she felt a surge of warmth that had nothing to do with the ship's engines. She nodded, her lips curling into a faint smile. "I know. We have to protect the device and stop Gideon. There's too much at stake." Calem's thumb traced the curve of her jaw, his eyes filled with a fierce determination. "We'll do whatever it takes, for the galaxy, and for each other." As their connection deepened, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that their love was more than just a fleeting emotion. It was a driving force, fueling their determination to restore balance to the universe. United, they would face the challenges ahead and safeguard the temporal device from falling into the wrong hands. Zara's fingers clenched around the controls, her knuckles white with determination. "The Guardians are out there waiting for us. We'll find them, learn the secrets of the device, and put an end to Gideon's plans." Calem's hand closed around hers, his grip steady and reassuring. Together, we can do anything. We'll make a difference, Z. I promise. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, Zara knew that their love was the beacon that would guide them through the chaos. With Calum by her side, she was ready to face whatever dangers lay ahead. Together, they would protect the temporal device and restore balance to the galaxy.